Welcome to your Daily 5 for Monday, January 6th, 2025. Thanks to a wonderful account that I found over on Bluesky that frequently posts B and lesser films, I came across a movie from 1983 called Endgame, which is... it is an Italian blender of ripoffs, a quite delightful one, which is set in a future apocalypse where there has been some kind of nuclear war, as was very popular in the early to mid-'80s, and even further than that, where a lot of films focused on the idea of, okay, what happens if there is an all-out nuclear war and the planet is laid waste and something happens after that? And in this case, it is a combination of things. It is a heavy dose of The Running Man, the adaptation of the Stephen King story that most people would know as the Arnold Schwarzenegger film. That, I would say, is about the first 20 to 25 minutes and is the basic framing device for the whole movie, even though this is one of those movies where when you try to keep the logic together, you're just going to end up very frustrated, so you might as well just pitch it. But we start off, and it's The Running Man. And then it becomes essentially, I would say wouldn't we really be Road Warrior per se? It would actually be closer to Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome, even though that film hadn't come out yet. But it is a variation on the Road Warrior where the contestant in Endgame, which is the Running Man show of this movie's universe, where that individual is hired by a psychic to take herself and a band of mutants, including a telekinetic child. Oh, I'm sorry. Not only psychic, but also telekinetic. He's basically Jean Grey as a young child, because both mind reading and telekinesis are involved here. He's hired to take them across a very dangerous countryside to a location to be picked up by somebody for reasons that are never made very clear. And again, this is a early 80s Italian ripoff film with barely any actual narrative structure to it. And I shouldn't say that. There is a narrative structure. It just doesn't make any sense. It doesn't matter, though, because this is one of those movies where you basically just go along to see what they're going to do. And one of the staples of these types of films, George Eastman is in it, among some others that I recognize but don't know their names off the top of my head. And it is a simply delightful way to spend a little over 90 minutes. I believe it's 93 minutes, actually, or is it a little bit short? No, I'm pretty sure it's a bit over an hour and a half, which is unusual for a film of this type. But it never feels all that long. It keeps moving very well. This is one of those movies that when you watch it, the things that you do is you amuse yourself with all the little treats that it gives you. For example, the mutants in this world, because there's some kind of fascist government, which doesn't even cover up the fact that it's using the SS symbol. In fact, it is two S's that are slightly stylized, but they're dressed like stormtroopers, or not stormtroopers, but stormtroopers, like old German stormtroopers, all black with the German helmets, gas masks, the little S's on there. They're just gunning people down. They run Endgame. There is promotion of a product called Life Plus, which I thought was going to be a bigger factor in the movie, but it's just there in the beginning and then it gets dropped. I don't know what that was a commentary on. It may have been a surface level commentary on how every show is trying to sell you something. If so, not the most elegantly done thing, but I enjoyed it. And so, like I said, you just watch this movie and some of the mutants, in fact, most of the mutants are horrible, disfigured cannibals, but conveniently the people that our main hero is taking across the wasteland, they are all very nice looking. The main psychic woman is gorgeous, which is, I guess, if you get powers, it somehow spares you disfigurement. I don't know, but it is a delightful film, not because it's all that well made. It's not. You will see the literal shoestrings of the budget in places, but it is a very fun time. It's always, I get such a blast out of seeing how they attempted to rip off or incorporate different films that they were imitating. I actually have to check when The Running Man came out because I don't remember. Was it 82? I'd have to look it up. But basically, movies like this are enjoyable because you're seeing all the parts they're attempting to replicate and typically doing it badly, but still doing it with such charm and enthusiasm that you can't help but love it. So 1983's Endgame, I would highly recommend it. Free to watch on Tubi. Later.